The Zodiac Killer is one of the most notorious unsolved serial killer cases in American history. From the late 1960s to the early 1970s, the Zodiac Killer terrorized Northern California with a series of gruesome murders and cryptic messages to the media. Despite decades of investigation and speculation, the killer has never been definitively identified, leaving the case shrouded in mystery and intrigue. In this video, we will explore the background, suspects, investigation, theories, and legacy of the Zodiac Killer case. The Zodiac Killer's known attacks were typically carried out in public places, such as parks and lovers' lanes. The killer's modus operandi was to approach his victims while they were sitting in their cars or lying on the ground, and then shoot them multiple times at close range. The Zodiac Killer was known for his distinctive costume, which included a hood with a white crosshair symbol on the front, and a black executioner-style hood. After each attack, the Zodiac Killer would send cryptic letters and codes to the media, taunting law enforcement and claiming responsibility for the murders. One of the most famous letters sent by the Zodiac Killer was the 408 cipher, a code that was published in the San Francisco Chronicle in 1969. The code remained unsolved for over 50 years until a team of amateur codebreakers managed to crack it in 2020, revealing a chilling message from the killer. There have been several primary suspects in the Zodiac Killer case, including Arthur Lee Allen, Lawrence Kane, and Richard Gaikowski. Each of these suspects had various connections to the murders or the cryptic messages sent by the Zodiac Killer. However, none of them have been definitively proven to be the killer. For example, Arthur Lee Allen was a convicted child molester who was a prime suspect in the Zodiac Killer case due to his resemblance to a police sketch of the killer and his possession of weapons similar to those used in the attacks. However, DNA testing in 2002 failed to match Allen's DNA with that found at the crime scenes. The investigation into the Zodiac Killer case was one of the most extensive in American criminal history, involving multiple law enforcement agencies and thousands of man-hours. Despite this, the investigation failed to catch the killer, and many mistakes were made along the way. One of the biggest mistakes was the lack of communication between different law enforcement agencies. The Zodiac Killer operated in multiple jurisdictions, and law enforcement agencies were slow to share information and coordinate their efforts. Additionally, the Zodiac Killer was skilled at leaving false clues and misleading investigators, which made the investigation even more difficult. Despite decades of investigation, the identity of the Zodiac Killer remains a mystery. As a result, numerous theories and speculations have arisen about the killer's identity, motivations, and whereabouts. One of the most popular theories is that the Zodiac Killer was a known criminal who was already on law enforcement's radar. Some have suggested that the killer may have been a police officer or a military veteran due to his knowledge of police procedures and weapons. Others have speculated that the killer may have been a mental patient or someone with a grudge against society. However, there is little concrete evidence to support any of these theories. In fact, many of the theories are based on circumstantial evidence or speculation rather than hard facts. As a result, the identity of the Zodiac Killer remains one of the most enduring mysteries in American criminal history. The Zodiac Killer case has had a significant impact on American society, both in terms of its cultural significance and its influence on law enforcement practices. The case has inspired numerous books, movies, and television shows, including David Fincher's 2007 film, Zodiac, and the Netflix series, Mindhunter. The Zodiac Killer case also had a significant impact on law enforcement practices, particularly in the use of forensic evidence and the development of criminal profiling techniques. The case highlighted the importance of preserving crime scenes and collecting physical evidence, and it helped to develop new methods of analyzing handwriting and other forensic evidence. In conclusion, the Zodiac Killer case remains one of the most enduring mysteries in American criminal history. Despite decades of investigation and speculation, the identity of the killer remains unknown. The case has had a significant impact on American society and law enforcement practices, and it continues to fascinate people around the world.